Used car owners, specifically potential used car buyers, are absolutely screwed in 2025, and we're going to tell you exactly why. The parts are that expensive, and these things are money pits as they age. That is bleeding over into all of that third tier of used car.
Sammy, you know, you got two dog beds in here, and you choose to lay on the ground, right on the dirty shop floor. Why don't you lay on one of your dog beds? Floor nice. Floor is nice. Boop. Stop doing that with your head.
Hey guys, welcome back inside the shop for another discussion video. If you're new to the channel, welcome. These types of videos, we sit down, we talk about stuff. Couple little things going on in our world. You can see we're working on this GMC Sierra. We just got done doing the fluid film treatment on that, prevent some rust, get the rockers, the frame, all those major components. That thing, it's been a whole laundry list, you guys. We had to do extended wheel studs in there because of a control arm upgrade and bigger wheels and tires. Had some rubbing issues, so we needed a 1/2-inch wheel spacer, which then gave us issues with the longer studs. We had to pull the axles out of the back to clear the longer studs going in. Truck needed rear axle seals anyway, so that was okay. But we've got about 12 of the 16 different repairs, oil cooler lines, brakes, spark plugs. This is a fleet truck, and it's a really, really good customer of ours, but it is a laundry list of things that we're doing to the Sierra. And anytime you're even doing mild modifications, like these wheel spacers that need extended studs, and you need to figure out how to get it to not rub on the control arm, all these things take time. And it's not a cut and dry repair. So going to be excited when this one is gone. As per the Mazda, we dropped off the intake and the wheels with our buddy Jeremy over at Custom Coatings and Repairs. Super excited to see those done. Intake manifold, as you know. We spent a lot of time on that, modifying, smoothing it out, making it look nice. More importantly, modifying to accommodate our Weber carburetor. We got more parts for the Mazda, more supplies. We're going to go over all that. We had picked up that Toyota front bumper, and currently I'm trying to figure out a way to do an acid dip on this thing. Citric acid, we're going to take care of the surface rust that's on the back of it before we get ready to dress it up, repaint it, and get it put on the Mazda. Something I wanted to take care of, so we'll go through that. The issue is it's 67 inches long, and even your average kiddie pool is not big enough. I don't want to put citric acid and rust in my bathtub, so that's out. Got to figure out a way to be able to soak this thing. Right now I'm kind of thinking about using a plastic barrel and then just do one side, flip it over, do the other side. Last thing with the Mazda here, let me grab something. We're to talk about this steering wheel really fast because I'm absolutely shocked, you guys. Only gripe I have right now is I didn't get any before pictures of this, but this steering wheel is one of the 3-spoke wheels. You can see that there. It's a 3-spoke wheel that you got in certain B-Series trucks. Not all of them had these. There was another 3-spoke wheel that used more of a foam plastic, mold injected. It was hideous. And then a lot of them were actually 2-spoke wheels, which also did not look very good. This wheel was actually used also in the RX-7, which is, I just think it's a good looking steering wheel, and you can see how amazing this thing looks right now. I didn't get any before pictures, and my buddy John, who is actually one of our shop neighbors, his TT has been in a couple videos, he specializes in heated seats, sunroofs, customization. He owns Tops Auto Restyling. So I brought this wheel over there. It was all cracked up, sun faded. I've had this wheel in 4 or 5 of my Mazda pickups because every time I get a new one, I get one with an ugly wheel and I just transfer it. So it was falling apart back here, and I went over there to ask him if there was a certain type of epoxy or something I should use to redo this. He was like, just leave it with me and I'll try one and then tell you what to get. Then he sends me this text and it's like, come get your wheel. And I'm sitting at the counter eating breakfast and I was like, you went through and completely restored my wheel, so super stoked about that. Thankful for him. Looks like a brand new wheel now. Alright, so that's kind of what's been going on in my world. On to the point of today's video, which is that potential used car buyers are getting completely phased out of the market. I gotta give credit where credit's due, you guys. Uncle Tony, who is an awesome YouTuber, actually just put out a really good video about this, and it's very true. And as technicians, people working in the automotive industry, we're seeing it on a bigger and bigger scale all the time. Everyone knows everything's getting excessively more expensive, including cars, right? And I've said it for years. It happens because you want your heated seats, you want your navigation, you want your air-cooled seats, you want your radar cruise control. Anytime you're adding all that junk onto a car, all this technology, they have to cheapen them up somewhere, but it's also going to drive the price up, right? And this is all stuff that's going to be a nightmare when these cars are the equivalent of like late 90s, early 2000s cars are right now in the used car market. So why is the middle person getting cut out? So there's like 3 tiers of car buyers. Uncle Tony talked about this as well, but there is basically 3 tiers of car buyers. You have the person who buys a brand new car, right? They keep it for 3-4 years. Then you have the person who buys a newer, lightly used car. You bought a car in 2023, it's now 2025, you sell it as a used car, somebody gets it, they might still have a little factory warranty, whatever, it's great, right? They bought a used car, but it's fairly new. So then let's just say they use up that car. Right? Now this car hypothetically is 20 years old. Where are these cars going to be in 20 years? I mean, who's going to be able to fix them? I have a $5,000 scan tool that we use in the shop almost every single day, and I'm constantly getting, you need this software update. So-and-so manufacturer decided that this is going to be proprietary information. Recently happened to me with Volkswagen, with Audi, which is fine. I really don't want to work on those anyway, so it's not a big deal to me. But my point is, these people that buy these, used to buy all these old used cars and then would fix them up, do a little bit of maintenance, they might not be an automotive technician, have a shop, have all the tools and equipment, but they could have, a Craftsman tool set and fix it in their garage over the weekend, put spark plugs in it, change out the distributor. We're talking, distributor, old, but you get my point. Up until I would even say 2016, these were things that could be done. People could get into this car that had this amount of technology, and they're going to be able to fix it. That customer, the customer that doesn't have a whole lot of money, maybe just starting out, younger, just got into their career, doesn't have a ton of money to spend on a vehicle, is getting phased out of this equation because none of these cars, first and foremost, most of the information is getting to a point where it's proprietary, but 2, all of these different CAN bus networks, all these technologies, software updates, these cars are going to get to a point where that customer is completely cut out of this. They can no longer afford the car because, just like I always say about Mercedes, Audi, all that stuff, you buy one of those luxury European cars that's 10, 15 years old, you're buying a money pit because the first person buys it with a warranty, the second owner got a decent deal, the third owner, it's tax time, this thing looks sweet, and they buy it, and then they have $15,000 worth of repairs to do because either they don't have the tools, the parts are that expensive, and these things are money pits as they age. That is bleeding over into all of that third tier of used car. And I think it's funny because more and more of the auto manufacturers are doing this kind of retro throwback theme. My buddy Nick just put this vinyl kit on this new Toyota Land Cruiser, which really isn't a Toyota Land Cruiser anymore. It's more, I wish they would have called it an FJ or, a Prado, but anyway, that's besides the point. You can see the retro throwback there. And they're doing all these things like, hey, look, we're still cool, they're still old tech. No. You're making cars that are more computers than they are cars. And part of it is the consumer because they want all of these amenities you're adding to these vehicles. But the price is going up and up and up and up and up. The features are going up, but the quality is going down and down and down and down. Accessibility to information to fix these things is going down and down and down and down. And you might be thinking to yourself right now, well, Jarrett, doesn't that mean more money for you because you're a mechanic, you have a shop? It does in a way, but also, like I said, my scan tool is constantly going, oh, that's obsolete, or you need this update, or that's now proprietary, or email the dealership to get access to this. Perfect example for you. When I still worked at the Toyota dealership and the new Supras came out, we had 2 guys in the shop that were Supra certified. I was not one of the 2, but I worked with them every day, and I'd see these guys every day, right? If there was a software update, some sort of recall, any repair information you needed on that Supra, we as a Toyota dealership who are selling a Toyota Supra had to email BMW to grant us permission to get into the ECU of that and, reflash the ECU or whatever it was that we were working on that car. That premise of accessibility is now trickling down into everyday cars, and I am afraid, you guys, 20 years from now, who's going to have access to the information to fix, these software updates on some of these cars? When I was doing recalls at Toyota, half of them were software updates. And then you were good, right? 20 years from now, who's going to have access to that information? Who's going to be fixing these CAN bus issues? The average person who's trying to get their high school kid a car or someone that's low income or just starting out is not going to be able to find reliable transportation because of this huge technology gap that is happening and all of these accessibility issues that are happening, and they're starting with the auto manufacturers. I tell you what, if you wanted to make the majority of the middle class, working middle class, male specifically, but if you wanted to make them happy, you know what you do, and a few companies are talking about it, you develop a bare bones little pickup. Give it AC, give it good heat, four-wheel drive. That's all you need. And hell, do a sedan too. Air conditioning, heat, a radio. Oh, you could even throw heated seats in there. That's fine. But skip all of the other stuff. Skip having 30 ECUs in one vehicle. Skip having the radar, cruise control. All of that stuff is what is absolutely going to cause major issues going forward. And we're going to see it. You might think I sound crazy right now, but I guarantee you in the next 15, 20 years, people are going to be scrambling trying to figure out how do I get a cheap, reliable car, because it's just not going to happen. That's what I had for you guys today. Thank you for joining me on this little rant. What do you think about this? I'm sure I missed some information that I wanted to put in this video. This stuff gets me a little heated, you guys. It really makes you think, and I think it's going to be a mess. But what do you think? I'd love to hear about it. So drop that down below. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, like this video, subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching, guys, and as always, we'll see you next time.